Everything's set up.
Awesome. Go ahead and restart. Alright, I am currently a student pilot, and here's me playing some Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, let's see the realism and the accuracy in this. So, alright, awesome. We're doing some pre-flight checks. So, yeah, don't tell me my pre-flight checks. Alright, so what I would normally do is I'd walk around the aircraft, check on everything, and I would make sure my window's clean. Yes, sir, it is. Awesome. Now that I've done a walk around of it, now let's start taking some stuff off. So my pitot tube, my engine covers. Engine covers were put on wrong. Usually they're supposed to wrap around a little bit so the propellers knock them off. Chocks, and the static port cover, which usually isn't on in my experience. This is a 172. Alright, after that, of course this isn't going to be in exact order, but it's in general what it should be. So the oil looks good. Looks like we got 6 quarts in it. So, we're doing good on that. Check our tires. Yeah, they're brand new. Check our struts. Yeah, looking pretty good. Right tire. Awesome. Strut. Looking pretty good. Left tire. Good. Strut. Pretty good. Alright, so now that I haven't seen any problems with our tires or struts, usually, so when we do pre-flight checks, we go and we check. So right there's where we strain for our oil, or strain our gas, make sure that there's actually 100 low lead in this particular aircraft. So we're making sure there's no beads in it. Unfortunately, there's not a way to do that in this game. Alright, and usually there'll be like a kit or a toolbox or whatever in here to tell y'all. Essentially, it's just a kit to check everything out, clean up everything, maybe some extra oil. They really do need any. Alright, now we're going to check our left aileron. And usually we get up in there and make sure there's nothing alive that's living in between the cracks. So, like, make sure there's not a bird's nest or anything in there and that it's free flowing. And that the little pins in here actually can move. But before we do that, of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on our battery, not our alternator, just our battery. I'll turn on all my lights and beacon lights. And we are usually, so turn on our avionics. Here we're supposed to check our engine time, so 400 and some. No, 40 some point whatever. Alright, and we're supposed to check our fuel quantity. Looks like we got 10 gallons in there. Alright, and alright, so now we do a visual walk around, make sure all our lights. Oh, I forgot one thing. Let's hide this real quick so I can put on the flaps. So, all the way down. And our lights on. All of our lights on. On. Awesome. Pitot heat. Alright. I understand this is a human mission, but still good to check your pitot heat. Make sure that's all. What did I just do? I just teleported for some reason. Alright. Make sure that's all good. Make sure the little pins in there can move, which you can't see in this game. Flaps pretty good. I gotta make sure this goes up and down. properly. Awesome. Make sure this has just a little bit of play in it. Looks like our rudder's good. Our lights are good on this thing. Awesome. We're going to do our right aileron. And just make sure there's nothing alive in the cracks. So there obviously isn't. Walk around, make sure all our antennas are pretty set. This is based off of memory, by the way. This isn't the exact order. Usually I have a checklist that outlines everything I need to do. But looking at this plane right now, it looks like we're doing pretty good. I don't know why, but I'm stuck, so. Yeah, I'm stuck. Anyways, looks like everything on this plane's good. Looks like everything's free-flowing. Everything we need to get done's done. So, I'm going to go ahead and lift up these flaps. And after we lift up these flaps, I'm going to give the okay to let these people in. Alright, now I'm going to turn off my lights. Make sure these are on. Landing lights obviously need to be off because it's not a night flight. And there'll be lights like right underneath the engine as well. I don't know if you can tell, but since this is a game and it's obviously based off of the newer Cessnas, you're not going to see much of that. Actually, we need our beacon and our navigation lights on and our taxi lights for now. So we're going to turn on the fuel pump. We are going to prime. So I guess this right here is our primer. No, that's alternate air. And obviously it's not going to be as realistic. So like when you turn this thing on, like you're going to put in the full mixture all the way, and then you're going to take the throttle and move it forward and back as you start it, but oh well. So now I'm going to switch this to both. I'll make sure our fuel valve's open, everything's good to go. I may have forgotten a few things, but I don't have a checklist on me right now. So I'll put that in about there. We're going to get this thing to 1,000 RPM. Alright. After we get this thing to 1,000 RPM, alright, we're going to take off our parking brakes. We're going to do a quick brake check. So, X, yep, the brakes will work. Awesome. Did our radio check right there. So, alright. And we will acknowledge this clearance. And obviously, we got to get up there. And I know this isn't a real game, so I'm not following any of the taxi lines or anything like that. Yeah, exactly what you want to hear. But anyways, we're taxiing on this hold short, taxiing to this hold short so we can take off this plane. So obviously we're going to leave that there. Our pre-flight checks will usually say to, so here, let me stop this throttle because this does not do well like real life. Alright, so we're going to put our engine up to 1,000 RPM. Give or take that. And then we're going to switch it to the left. Yeah, it's dropped, give or take 70. Which is pretty good. That's what you want. And the right. Also the same. Alright, we're all good. So we're going to do... Awesome, we're on both again. Alright. We're going to acknowledge its takeoff clearance. Our flaps are roughly down 0% because this is not a short field landing. This is just or short field takeoff. This is just your average takeoff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get us up straight. Obviously, they want us to go around and do all this mess and turn around. Obviously, it's a video game. I'm not going to bore you, taxiing all the way to the end and making sure everything's good. We've done our pre-flight checks. Everything looks all good. So what we're going to do, full throttle, we're taking off this joker. And we're going to check for the takeoff roll just around here. Awesome, we're going to ease it up. And after we have eased it up, we're going to climb about 2 miles high above this place. So, I figured I ain't gonna bore you with that. I mean, all this is just 20 minutes worth of climbing. I'd rather show you the come down from this because it's easy to come down if you know how to come down fast. Alright, anyways. We're gonna put up our yoke. We're gonna put our trim up a little bit. So that way we're just chilling where we need to. I'm gonna acknowledge that handoff. Alright, awesome. I don't see any traffic, so that's real good. Alright, awesome. I'm gonna drop our speed a little bit. I'll hold our position. Awesome. And we're going to lift up a little bit. Obviously, if you were to do this in real life, you'd have to pull the carb heat. So, if you're up in the air and you pull out your throttle and your engine gets below the green, or even if it's cold, you need to pull that carb heat just in case, because that prevents carburetor icing, which can happen, I believe, up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit and 80% humidity. So, even though it's not cold outside, it's going to happen. So, obviously, our skydiver jumpers are out. I'll pull the power. Obviously, this is not real life. So, we're just going to do some cool stuff. I'll be paying attention to my speed. We're going to... So, we have entered the VNE range. Or VNO. No. Yeah, we've entered the normal operating range. VNE is V never exceed. And what that means is that it's imperative that you don't go into that area because you've exceeded the structural limits. So let's just take this thing down. And yes, I'm sinking like a rock right now. We were at 10,000 feet. Now I'm down all the way to 6,700 feet. I'm just remaining outside the plane at this point just to have a better look at my airspeed down there. Just to make sure everything's doing okay. And we're sinking. Alright, I'm going to relax. Because you don't want to pull up, you just want to relax it and let the plane do its thing. Especially when you're up that high. You just, instead of pulling up, you're letting it do its thing, so that way you don't overstress it and put excessive G-forces on that airframe. And obviously, under normal conditions, you don't want to do this. This is not... Yeah, this isn't real life, and that's why I'm just pushing this airplane. Especially if you want to keep that thing airworthy and you want it to pass inspection. You definitely don't want to do that. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some pretty cool things. So I'm going to do a flip. And obviously that you wouldn't do this in real life. I'm going to push this airplane down a little bit. I'm obviously going left and right rudder just to... This is not real life, by the way. Do not do this in the actual plane. You know, especially if somebody's watching. It's not the way to go about doing stuff, but it works in this game. Next, we're gonna land on the runway, which that was not normal, flight procedure, anyways. Obviously, you're gonna go into the traffic pattern. And you're gonna circle around basically go into a rectangle around the airport, but this is a video game, just saying. Now we've gotten our landing down. And obviously I'm going to speed across this runway. And I am going to lift up my flaps because, you know, we got 0.2 of a mile to go. Ooh, actually it is right there. I don't know why it continued to do full throttle, but oh well. Come on. Aim for nice landing. There you go. Alright, I'm putting on the parking brake. Obviously, you don't want to do that in real life. Unless it's an emergency. And you're in that particular plane that can do that mess. Like, that is a big no-no. In real life. Like, that is not good to do. Oh, my parking brake was still on this one. Alright. And obviously, after the mission's over, you're going to do your post-flight checks. Just checking up on everything, making sure everything's... Alright, pretty similar to the pre-flight checks, except for, you know, you're just making sure everything's wrapped up, tied down, and all that other mess. But, yeah. And obviously, if I did that, I would get a phone call or a number to call from air traffic control. But then again, this is a game, and, you know, I'm just trying to make this as quick as possible. Anyways, boom. Awesome. Alright, so what we're going to do, alternator, battery, avionics, yes, yes. We're going to turn off all our lights except for the navigation. Alright, we're going to turn... Alright, so now that's turned off. Now our flaps are all the way up. Let's make sure everything's pressed in. We obviously got to switch it back to the left tank. And leave that on for now, because as soon as I pull that mixture, everything's going to shut off. So... I'm just going to pull that, and they're going to end the mission on me. Anyways, that's how you get it done almost as realistic as possible. You know, not some of those things, like, some of those things I did were a big deal in real life, but obviously since this is a game, that's really all you got to do. I mean... But I'll see y'all next video.